Hello, Gio.
Hello, Philip. Welcome everybody again here to the Mayo Agency video podcast. Great to have you all here. Great to be connecting with you again, Philip, for another week here on the podcast. Yeah, I know Philip has been under the weather, but he has showed up, and I really do appreciate it, Philip, because I know it's not easy when you're not feeling well. So yeah, well, let's get right to it, and I appreciate it. Let's go. Today we're gonna be talking about value based pricing. Wow, this is I think this is gonna be a great episode. We for those who follow Philip and I, especially Philip has been very vocal, expressive about this in posts right on social media, touching this point specifically before value based pricing versus charging for an hourly rate. Why value based pricing could be the better option for a lot of consultants, coaches, or people who are offering services, right, based on their specific expertise. Great conversation up ahead. So stay tuned until the end. Let's start off with it, Philip. Why value based pricing? First of all, let people understand what is value based pricing in your opinion, and why is it important to talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Gio, for the amazing introduction and everything. Yeah, I'm very passionate about value-based pricing by default. When we were starting the agency, for sure, we were doing and working in a regular format of cost-based plus and other regular pricing methodologies. But in some moment, it was clear enough. You are practically top capping the earning potential. And the point is that value-based pricing is practically setting up the price based on the perceived value. That is a general outline, intro, and the definition of the value-based pricing principle and pricing approach. But what I'm big advocate on is result-based, meaning value-based pricing result-based, which puts you as the service provider in the partner role. That means that you are being, as a professional, as the expert, paid for the results you deliver to your clients and customers. So practically, what is a big advantage compared to regular pricing? You don't have the top cap on earning, so your earning potential is pretty much amazing, depending on your capabilities to generate your results. And also on the other side, your respectable clients and customers have good look and feel about mitigating and quite often eliminating the risk, because in any vacation scenario, they need to put in front of you a budget, an investment, and if you're being paid for results you deliver, that is the awesome scenario. And also very important to mention, when you're being perceived as the expert, but as a regular service provider, your clients and customers, they have a feeling they can easily switch you with somebody else. But when you are in the driver's seat and in the position of being somebody's partner, being paid for the results you deliver, entire ecosystem of communication, environment, and everything is much, much, much different. And also, you are being responsible and accountable for the actions and for the results you'll be generating for the clients and customers. Very important to mention about value-based pricing, especially result-based principle and approach, is that you need to be directly involved into the entire setup of campaign, the strategy, the goal roadmap, and being actively following, tracking, and optimizing all the activities. Quite often, companies, expertise-based businesses, have they're kind of on the distance in the idea of implementing value-based pricing because they don't know how to do it. The point is, if you want to truly implement value-based pricing, result-based, that cannot be done just like that, meaning, we'll be doing with this respectable pricing strategy without actually knowing the other side, meaning knowing in depth the situation and the actual state of business, because you need to be involved in every possible aspects. Sometimes experts are lazy to do that. Why? Because they want to jump immediately into engagement, into the retainers, money, cash flow, etc., 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 And it is cool, everything okay and fine, acceptable. But the point is, with implementing value-based pricing, result-based, it demands more effort, energy, and your involvement into the system, because you need to dissect everything and know every potential threat, bottleneck, an issue which can rise up as you go, because you are in the partner's role of your respectable clients and customers, meaning you are guiding them towards your joint success. That is the short outline.
No, that's a great outline actually, and I think going back to the first point you said, and I think that's important to reiterate it, is the increased perceived value, right, of value-based pricing. It increases the perceived value. So I think that's something that consultants, coaches, and experts in offering their services have to think about, right? Because when you focus on when you start to, rather than focusing on your hourly rates, you start as a consultant to you can increase your perceived value as a consultant by focusing right on value-based pricing versus the hourly rate. For example, right, let's just say for example, rather than you charging an hourly rate for the consulting services, what you would do is you would offer, for example, like a fixed fee, right, Philip? You would offer like a fixed fee for a specific type of project or a specific outcome that you believe, based on your experience, that you can provide for that client, right? And by doing that, you increase because the client's revenue. You could or you could determine, okay, there's a certain percentage of revenue that I can make increase based on the outcome that I can provide. And when you do it that way, and when you frame it that way using value-based pricing, this then allows, right, that potential client to see the value in what you're doing and your services as a consultant. And I think that's one of the things of value-based pricing, like you said, that's important, is the perceived value. A lot of times you could be actually providing a lot of value in terms of the percentage of the increase in revenue, in terms of the specific type of problem that you're solving. But if you have an hourly rate, you're limiting yourself, like you mentioned, Philip. I think another point is the alignment, right, with basically the client's needs. When you look at value-based pricing, it allows a consultant to like tailor their pricing based on the specific needs and the value they're looking to provide to each one of their clients. I think you also touched on that point briefly as well. And I think it's important to iterate that, right? Instead of using the classic one size fits all approach, right, where we see that quite a bit for a lot of consultants, they try to go that one size fits all. Instead of going that approach, value-based pricing allows you to focus the pricing based on the value that you're going to be providing, based on that specific complexity of that problem that you're solving. So it allows you to align exactly to the outcome and the needs of each specific client. Right. So an example of that, and you could let me know, Philip, what you think about this as well. But I see it as an example of that is, rather than you charging a flat rate, right? What you can do as a consultant is you could basically offer a customized, right, package, right? Maybe you offer a set number of coaching sessions and additional resources, or a workbook, or right. The cool thing with value-based pricing is it all depends on the exact need of that client. So the solution could be a more complex, larger, more pieces, involved in that solution, or it could be something as simple as providing various coaching sessions and adding on to that, accompanying that with maybe some material, some extra additional resources that can add value to those coaching sessions. I think there's a lot of ways you can structure it, but when you're doing a value-based pricing, it allows you to have have that flexibility and do those different combinations of solutions versus when you're in an hourly rate. Again, it starts to limit what you can do and how much value you can really provide to the client, because it's all focused on the hours, the metrics, versus on the value and the outcomes.
Yeah, the point is in value-based pricing, in the essence and in the baseline, you are pricing the client. So there is a big difference in impact. If you're working for some small micro company in a respectable niche of Industry 4.0, and the company 100 the size of this small one, so the impact is big. And also, depending on the scale and scope of the activities you'll be actually providing, and which tangible results, quantifiable results you'll be actually generating. Because value-based pricing is something which you can see everywhere on the market. It's pricing based on perceived value, especially when you have some brand recognition. For example, in watchmaking industry, especially in the luxury realm, it's pure value-based pricing approach and setting the frame. In the car industry also, and other respectable industries and business niches. In expertise business, value-based pricing on the basic level, you are pricing the client, not the scope, and it's okay. But if you do the value-based pricing or result-based, that gives you a better chance to close the deal, because also clients and customers are seeing you as the partner, not somebody who is nail thumb making the estimate and calculation on some respectable service. Important is that any level of impact in business can be addressed and quantified. That is what I mentioned previously. You need to make the extra mile and the extra effort. Doing so, addressing it, making adequate calculation, estimation, that is your baseline for the definition. And in value-based pricing, result-based, there is no reason in which you would be doing something like this. Okay, we won't, you won't be paying us anything. You are just paying us for the results we deliver. You can create a hybrid model, which is smaller fixed fee or one-time fee, implementation fee, plus success fee. And then you can take, for example, the percentage of gross profit margin, net profit margin on revenue. So you can play with it depending on the structure, depending on the conversation, the actual impact and results you plan to generate for your client and customers. Generally speaking, and long term, if we are talking about business continuity and scaling your expertise business, value-based pricing, result-based, the only right way to go, because the cost-based plus methodology, hourly rates, as you mentioned, it's top capping earning potential, and you're being seen as a commodity. So it is also by default problematic, because somebody will be comparing your hourly rate with somebody else's hourly rate, and because somebody else is cheaper, he'll be taking over the job. And quite often, clients don't know what you as the expert or what I as the expert are actually doing and what is our true value. But if you are being paid for the results, you eliminate any kind of dilemma, especially if you are a true professional, an expert who is staying strong, standing behind the promise, the guarantee, and results you said that you'll deliver. So
exactly,
yeah, that is the proper and healthy foundation for the right establishment.
Yeah, I like that. And I think a lot of times people will think, well, Philip, Gio, but isn't that gonna like limit my opportunities? Or now I'm not charging per hour. So if I charge value-based pricing, they may perceive it as a higher charge, and I may lose certain clients. Well, I think no. I think you're actually going to get better, higher quality clients. Because why? And I think we could talk about this to finish the conversation, but it's because when you're focused on value-based pricing, like we mentioned before, you're focused on results. and everybody wants results. And the reality is when you're getting charged by the hour, they're not focusing on the results. What they're focusing on is on the cost and on saving as much money possible. And you have to shift that perspective. And that's where value-based pricing helps the client focus on what is really important. And what is really important is the results that you can get them that will help them achieve X thing that they want in their business. And that is important. And that's going to help you have what? More satisfied customers and clients. Why? Because when you focus on results, yes, they're going to maybe end up paying more, but they're going to get more. Their value is going to be perceived higher. So they're going to be like, you know what? This was a great investment because we invested this much, but we got this result that we were looking for, or we got a better result than we expected. But that's why the focus has to be on your end as the consultant. On our end, it has to be focused on making sure we achieve those expectations or overachieve, right? So that way, that perception of value remains high, and that the customer and clients can be happy and continue to extend those contracts. And that's when referrals come in, right? You start to get referral, they start to talk about you to other companies, and then all of a sudden, that's when that word of mouth and referral starts to kick in. So I think that's a big factor of it as well. So greater client satisfaction. I think it's a double benefit because you got the greater, better client satisfaction, and on the other hand, you're making more profit. So everybody's happy, right?
Exactly.
You're making profit, and then they're getting the results they were looking for. Instead of them focusing on the cost, which they probably would have went with a consultant that probably wouldn't have gotten the results because they were focusing on cost, and that person probably wasn't focused on results, and they would have ended up wasting their money and not getting any results. But when you focus on the results and value-based pricing, everybody's a lot more happy. The consultant can make more profit, and when you take the right actions and you actually get the results that they're looking for, it's a great relationship and a great transaction there in terms of value-based pricing. That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. The point is, okay, we can completely put aside the price buyers because they are always looking for the cheapest possible option for them. We put them completely aside. Everybody else in business who's professional, who wants professionals to take care of their business and help them grow and scale, for them, it becomes a no-brainer because you are mitigating the risk for them. As mentioned previously, sometimes even eliminating depending on the scope and everything. And that is definitely good options for both ends, both sides to start the collaboration and everything. Because very often the problem is in perceived value. Somebody doesn't know what you is capable of, what I'm capable of in terms of business, no matter even the referral, direct referral and other things, because those people don't have direct experience, for example, with us. And primary objection would be pricing. If you eliminate the most common objection out there aside, eliminating it is truly a no-brainer. I'm speaking from direct experience. I truly don't have the problem in closing deals because we are doing value-based pricing, result-based principle and approach to business and business cooperation. Surely there are prerequisites. Zero tolerance for micromanagement, full transparency because I need to enter my respectable client business, see what's going on, because quite often what is also happening, people are giving only some fraction and some portion of the information. For us to be fully on the same pages and adequately establish, estimate, and define value-based pricing, result-based principle and pricing approach, we need to understand entire business, the history, the actual state, all the bottlenecks, all the objections, all the problems and everything. And that is becoming somebody's partner. And from that point on, everything is much, much, much easier. And practically you are establishing the foundation for success. And that is important.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, I think it's been a great conversation. Value-based pricing. If anyone who's watching the video has any questions, let us know in the comments, right? Also in the comments, you can let us know what you think about value-based pricing. What has been your experience so far? If you're already implementing value-based pricing, we would love to hear some of your examples and what you've done so far and how it's helped you. That way, it can help other coaches, consultants, and professionals focus on consulting on a specific expertise. It can help them get value-based pricing set up for their business. So yeah, it was a great conversation, Philip. Thank you for the insights. It was great to talk to you once again this week. I think it's going to be a great, valuable episode for a lot of people. I know it's a simple concept of pricing, but pricing is an important part of making profit in your business and you being able to grow and scale. So it's definitely, I think, something that's sometimes overlooked. So I'm glad we were able to talk about it. And until next week, we'll see you next week, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure. See you. Bye-bye.